the main focus of this part of the law was obviously to protect the health and safety of women. And so now we've tried to do that, and the Supreme Court has struck it down saying we can't do that. So it leaves the Texas legislature in a very difficult and awkward position, because if they want to protect women, it makes it now very difficult to do that.
Yeah, it does make it difficult to do this. And you and I spoke specifically about these clinics because there's a variety of different sorts of abortion clinics. And these ones you had described as they were kind of like the lower tier, but still legal. They were still able to operate the way they were, even though these sort of lower tiered abortion clinics were discovered in states like South Carolina and in New Jersey and Pennsylvania to really operate below, any kind of basic standard of care. You're talking about dirty facilities. Sometimes the equipment isn't sterilized. And you made the point too. If this is about improving women's health care, isn't that, just on that basis of having clean equipment, you would think that that's something common sense we could all agree on.
We had hundreds of hours, if not thousands of hours of testimony in committees. We debated on the House floor, the Senate floor, and really this was overwhelmingly passed based on what you're talking about right now, trying to upgrade these facilities. We had a provision in this bill that dealt with abortion and regulating abortion. This part of it was to deal with the safety of women. And I would have thought this is the part that the other side would be for, because there's really no downside. And the whole argument here was that they didn't have access to abortion. The reality is they never presented evidence that they didn't have access to abortion. There's still in every major city in Texas, there is a place to go have an abortion. And if you're in a rural area, doctors that perform under 50 abortions are not subject to these regulations. So effectively, they showed no loss of ability to get an abortion.
So really, we are looking at a whole, for the lack of a better way to put it, a whole swath of clinics that, and maybe even doctors that fall into that sort of unregulated category because it goes below the number of abortions before they have to, meet the requirements, meet these specific requirements. Is that a correct assertion of that?
Absolutely. And so you didn't see Planned Parenthood fighting this off, because they actually have upgraded their facilities to meet the requirements. And they had already been doing it. As a matter of fact, they've opened facilities since we passed this. The ones that were going out of business were the ones that didn't meet the standards. And so now we've opened it back up for the lowest common denominator. And so you've created an incentive now for the ones that are less capable of taking care of these women to reopen and to have the standard a lot lower than we have it for other surgical facilities.